Hi, I'm just working away here on your 2018 Honda TRX500. I'm just going to go through some of the issues, some of the problems that you wanted me to check over, and I'm also going to show you a couple other things that I discovered while I was checking on brakes and such on the front end of the bike. So let's just talk about the shifting quickly. I did discuss this with you on the phone already. I'm just going to follow up with you on what else that I have completed. So you had told me on the phone that when you had the issue, you saw a line come up on your display and it did not want to shift. And you also mentioned to me that sometimes the bike would hesitate and not want to go into reverse gear. So this is what I did. I adjusted your reverse cable. There was quite a bit of extra free play for that lower cable for the lever down here. So when you lock this lever to this one, it pulls that little cable on the bottom. This is the adjuster for it. So I did adjust that. It does seem to go into reverse fine. I've tried it multiple times. As long as I pull in the lever and pull the brake firmly, it shifts into the reverse each and every time that I shift it. If I just sort of gingerly touch it when I have the lever, I have to pull it back more, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I have to be firm with it. So whether that's any kind of an issue for you, I don't know, but that's how it works for me when I try it. As far as a line showing up on the display and the bike not wanting to shift, I drove it around I'll probably put a kilometer or so on the bike, just driving it around in the yard and just quickly down the trail and stuff like that. It shifts fine, down shifts, up shifts fine in the automatic mode, and it also shifts fine when I use the manual mode. As far as I've tested it, I've not been able to get a line to come up on the screen, have not been able to get the shift indicator to flash a code, because that's the other thing you have to watch for, is for the future for you, if you have some kind of a line on your shift indicator and you've just turned your bike on to start it and it just shows a line, pay attention to whether or not that is just staying as a steady line or if it's actually flashing a sequence. So the sequence kind of goes, it'll have a solid line for so many seconds, and then that'll be followed by a bunch of the line flashing quickly. So if you count the number of long pause lines and the number of short pause lines, that goes with the code that is in the service manual for the bike, and it helps you be able to troubleshoot the problem a lot better, because there are quite a few components involved in the shift system on these bikes, unfortunately. Anyway, so my suggestion at the moment is to try it again. See how you make out with it. If we can get it to give us a little bit more of a hiccup, then maybe we can zero the problem into a certain spot. I don't want to spend your money chasing something and maybe missing it somehow, or not going in the right area for it. Next, your oil leak is at your drain plug up underneath. So you can see that guy, he's wet with oil. And I did go in there and gingerly with a inch-pound torque wrench, started to check the torque on it to see if it was torqued properly. It's either really loose or it's stripped. So the couple questions I would have to ask you is, the last time the oil was changed, was the crush washer replaced? And to the best of your knowledge, do you know if the bolt was tightened properly or not? At this point, when I have one that's loose the way that one is, it feels like it could be stripped. I don't want to try and tighten it more. I would much rather just remove the drain bolt from the case, let the oil all drain out, and check the threads and stuff to be sure. Put a new drain washer on it and stuff if the threads are all okay, as opposed to trying to tighten it more and possibly strip the threads all completely out of the case or whatever, right? So you're going to have to sort of let me know how that went the last time when it was changed. Next, check your brakes in the back of the bike, so we'll go there first. So you have an indicator on the back, and possibly you know that when the two indicators line up with the brakes applied, it's time to change the pads. So you need pads for the back end. The front pads, they're okay for a little bit longer, for sure. You have quite a bit of pad material left on them. But one thing I did notice when I lifted up the bike on the side is I noticed you have play in your outer tie rod ends. That's the same on the other side. The right side is a little bit more than the other side is. And I also noticed that you have play in your ball joints. And oddly enough, even though I would suspect this one to be worse, for some reason, the left-hand side is worse. So I don't know if I can show this with the camera or not. But usually the way it goes is you see the knuckle move before the control arm moves, and I think you can see that in the video, how that's moving up and down. And that's the play in the ball and socket joint, because that's what a ball joint is, and that's what it looks like when they're moving independent of each other. So, my suggestion, new ball joint here, new ball joint here, and new outer tie rod ends. And like I said, that tie rod end's got a bit more play than this one does. So if you wanted to wait longer for that one, you can, but I usually just suggest when you have play in one, and a little bit of play in the other, to replace them both. Anyway, I think that was it for what you wanted me to have a look at on your bike. And if you have any questions, please let me know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you along an estimate for the repairs and the work that I completed on it, and we can kind of go from there. The bigger issue is the little bit of right now is the oil leak. I just want to make sure you're okay with me pulling the plug, because I will have to put new oil in it. Anyway, have any questions, let me know.